Hey guys, welcome to the At Cause podcast. Your host Nelson Anderson here, and I am. I don't have my normal co-host here, Kevin Cougar, but I do have. Yeah, this one has hair, but I do have Bobby Firestein. Bobby, how are you today?
I'm great, Nelson. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, sure. So you guys are probably asking, well, who's this Bobby guy? So Bobby just started with us as a
Something
what are you?
in
What are you
business
exactly?
development, maybe?
Yeah. He oversees business development. So that's customer service, that's salespeople, account managers, and our overall customer experience as they're coming in and dealing with people, right?
Muckety Muck is a good title. I think
The
I'd like to
muckety
have
muck.
that.
Yeah. Perfect.
I've never had it, but maybe you can give me a card with that on there if you know a good printer.
We can do it.
Okay.
I find one. I'll Google it. Good printer near me. Hopefully we come up in that search.
Well, that's a topic for you and I and others to discuss.
Right. Well, Bobby, welcome to Full Sail Media.
Thank you, Nelson.
And welcome to the podcast. I wanted to have you on here just so that people would get to know who Bobby is. And, you're here, you have a tremendous print background. So, Full Sail Media is made up of not just digital marketing and video and branding, but we're born and based from a printing company. That's how I started the business, as a Minuteman Press. We still have that Minuteman Press. We have a full production house located right around the corner from the studio that offers commercial print, signs, wide format printing, direct mail.
Mailing.
Yeah, so all the services, and Bobby happened to be the guy that knows all about that stuff, right?
Well, I don't know about all about it, but I know a little bit about it. I fake it on a daily basis, but
yeah, right.
You bought it. You bought into it. So let's see where this takes us, right?
Exactly right.
I was always impressed with what I saw Anderson's Minuteman Press doing and growing over the years. You had run an ad, and I had responded to it, which is part of the introduction. We had some common acquaintances in the industry that helped kind of expedite the introduction. And here we are at the end of my second week with you and with Full Sail, and I can't tell you how excited I am to be part of it. How it's allowed me to get part of my life back as far as a commute.
Oh, right.
It's a tremendous difference as far as the commute in and out, and that's fantastic. But
totally,
the services that you provide clients are tremendous, and it's leading edge. As far as what the rest of the industry is doing.
That's awesome to hear.
To see you grow from, what were you, 4 or 5 or 6 franchises, I think you had, maybe?
We had 4 at one time. Yeah, exactly right.
And you've tucked most of them into the production house.
Yep.
With the title of Full Sail, and now with the one shop still in Glen Burnie. So I'm confident I can help continue your growth and help oversee some staff in the production house, the sales staff, account managers, customer service, whatever titles we want to give them.
Yeah.
They all do the same thing, and that's making sure clients have a seamless transaction and come back for more services,
right,
and purchase different services,
right,
from you.
Exactly right. Make a good customer experience, and they keep coming back, right? We recently were talking about growth, and I think when people think of growth, people think of, I need to acquire, and they think of adding. And I think the building block of growth is retention. The opposite of that, right, is actually keeping.
Right.
Because if you have nothing to build on, then you're not going to grow. You're going to spend all of your time finding new customers to do work with when you're not taking care of the ones that you have. And we've been fortunate enough, and I would say that that's the reason why we've been successful, is because of how we've taken care of customers. And so that's, why you and I got along so well, I think, is your same appreciation for, going above and beyond, being uber responsive, and just, doing the right thing. This is all really simple, guys. Do the right thing.
My sales success, I think, is because I would respond to clients.
Yeah.
I would, be empathetic toward whatever their challenge or problem was. I would address uh, challenges, our own challenges, head on. I wouldn't
Hmm.
avoid them.
Right.
It helped me grow my business when I owned my own printing business, and it helped me to be a successful salesperson prior
Yeah.
to owning my own sales
So
business.
tell me a little bit about that. How long you been doing this thing called print?
Yeah, I'm one of those individuals that I've grew up in this industry. My entire family's in this industry. So from my brothers to uncles to cousins,
Yeah.
you name it,
They were in
either
it.
in it or they're still in it. I grew up around my uncle's printing company in the DC area. When I say that, I would, after high school, sweep the floors, work in the press room, clean the bathrooms,
Mhm.
file job jackets. Upon graduation from high school, my uncle and that company offered to send me to college. That was really the only way that I could have afforded it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Where'd you go?
I went to RIT.
All right.
Um,
Nice.
he allowed me to look at several schools and but just wanted me to at least go look at that.
Uh-huh.
And I did, and I was very grateful to have that
Up
opportunity.
there with the Xerox boys, right?
Xerox and Kodak, back
Kodak,
in the
yeah.
day, and I mean it's a different animal now up there. But I made some very good connections. I wouldn't say that I learned anything print. Well, I shouldn't. I mean,
How to drink, how to
correct. I made some very good connections up there.
Yeah.
That are all over the United States.
Uh-huh.
Growing up around my uncle's shop, I definitely learned through working in the press room, working in the bindery,
Hmm.
just being a people person back then. I mean, some of those connections I made as a teenager still have today.
Wow.
As far as the industry connections.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I graduated, worked in customer service for his company till the late 80s. That company shuttered because of the recession of the late 80s. That was my opportunity to go learn pre-press. So I sold film and color separations for a couple of
Wow.
years for a couple of different companies
Okay.
because I wanted to learn it.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
wanted to learn sales.
Is that where you really cut your teeth in sales?
I really cut my teeth in the first print shop I sold for.
Okay.
After that.
So you did some sales work in the print before you did pre-press. Got it. Okay. Gotcha.
So no, I went to go sell color separation and film,
Sorry.
and then I left there. I worked for two organizations. One was in Wisconsin, as we were just talking with Kevin,
Uh-huh.
Wisconsin and North Carolina, I think, and then the local one was in Bladensburg, Maryland. Learned a lot. I mean, none of that is really relative today as far as how
Right.
it works. But then I moved on to sell printing for an organization that's no longer around called SNS Graphics. It was one of the best places. I had my most success there. That was a web and sheet fed shop.
Uh-huh.
Worked there for several years. It was
They were a titan in the area.
They were. I mean, back then, print was people printed Rembrandts and they paid for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And SNS was one of those shops.
Yeah.
So from there, I moved around to a couple other shops, always in sales. My uncle told me to move around when I was young to get the experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did. So I sold for a variety of different companies, some that were more direct mail focused, some that were similar to SNS and high end. And I was, I was doing pretty good as a salesperson.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then an opportunity had presented itself to purchase a printing company that I had never heard of, called Schveck Conway Printing.
God bless you.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Dick Schveck and I think Frank Conway were the owners.
I thought you were calling me a name for a minute, but go ahead.
It was presented, the story.
You got to bleep that out, Lou? No, okay. We're good. Go ahead.
It was at a Girl Scout meeting. My then wife had run into a former coworker of mine, meaning my daughter was at a Girl Scout meeting. His daughter was at the Girl Scout meeting. He said, and I'm going to kind of give you an impression of him. He said, hey, have Bobby give me a call. I got an opportunity for him. Want him to come and own a printing company. And I said, why the F do I want to own a printing company? I'm doing all right. I can go work in the morning and then go hang out with my buddies. I didn't golf, but I could go.
Right.
I'm an outdoors person. Why do I want to do that? I saw it almost kill my uncles. It's the last thing I want.
Crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
So fast forward to, we did it. My wife at the time, Tom Ugas, my partner at the time, We took it over. I'm glad we did it. It was an easy transition. Dick Schweck kind of turned the company over to us. It
Right.
needed youth. It
Yeah.
needed sales. It needed to be less antiquated. It was very
Right.
antiquated in its equipment. So we slowly turned that around from $750,000 in sales to, maybe $1.5 million, 2 million, convinced the bank to loan us money to buy the press that we needed. And we got a larger press, a 6-color with the coder. My partnership dissolved. The friendship didn't, for a variety of reasons. It's just there wasn't enough room for two principals. And my wife, who worked there at the time, that the marriage dissolved. I thought for sure the business was going to dissolve, but it didn't. I continued to grow. I grew similar to you, through acquisition.
Yeah.
Hiring the right salespeople or the right staff.
Right.
I pulled from my experience or the people that I worked with at other companies. So I successfully grew it to 4,800,000 in sales.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah. And that was
nice work.
And one of the acquisitions was EcoPrint, and that helped me to grow. And that was kind of a marketing, I used that because it was a better name than Schweck Conway Printing.
There you
go. So it was.
So you did a brand pivot and everything.
Exactly. And so it was good.
You've been through it. I mean, think about that, through partnerships and, even going back to you said, why the F would I buy a printing company? And I want to tell you, it's funny that you had the same reaction that I had when it was my uncle who ran a large chemical company at the time, right? Still does. I was working for an IT reseller, and he says, now I was 22, 23 at the time. I was making really good money. Sounds like identical story, right? And he says, you should buy your father-in-law's business. I said, why the F? Right. The same exact story. Yeah. And I did it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've grown through adversity, right? I mean, that's a lot of things to overcome. And when you think about somebody, and you're underpinning another point is you acquired a company, right? And when
I acquired several over there.
Yeah. But to get started, you didn't go out on this mission. I'm going to start this thing. No. And the math we've talked about on this podcast, the importance of acquisitions, and it reverses the success rate. What do they say? Pretty much like 9 out of 10 businesses fail. For the most part, there's a 90% failure rate
within a certain time frame, right?
Within a certain time frame, first 5 years, right? And that reverses. It's actually a 94% success rate if you acquire a business. They've already been through it, right? They've already experienced that hard time and they survived. They've proved the point. You have something to start with. You have staff. You have customers. You have a framework to work with them, and so you're just proven prior points made. That's all.
Yeah. 17 years. I think.
Wow, that's how long you had it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. And I didn't have, in 2020, so the beginning of COVID, I tucked it into another local organization. I didn't have an exit strategy.
Yeah.
I didn't have kids that really had any interest in it. I was tired.
Right.
I was doing everything. I was doing sales. I was fixing stuff.
Yeah.
I was doing Jeff Emerson's job.
Yeah.
I mean, I had general managers who were great.
Right.
But I worried about everything.
Yeah.
I was in there checking the mail.
It'll do it to you.
In, right? Yeah. So the last 3.5 years, I was working for the organization that I tucked that business into.
Okay.
And,
gotcha.
And I left for a variety of reasons, but the commute was.
Yeah.
It was killing me.
I'm happy that we're closer.
Yeah. You're not kidding.
And it's been great. I know it's only been 2 weeks, but your interview process lasted about 18 months. No, I'm just kidding. You
had to go on a vacation. If I'm not mistaken.
Of course. Yeah. Blame me. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I thought I was walking into an interview with you. The first time I met you, I walk into the conference room into the firing squad. The only person that wasn't there was Ian.
Yeah.
And probably would have run out if Ian would have walked in the door. I thought I must have handled it pretty well.
Of course you did. You're here. Right? Yeah, you're here now. Totally. No, I think that the old adage, slow to hire, quick to fire, right? And it helps make that process of, just being on the same page. This is an important role for us. And I think why it's so important to me is because, it's been, under my jurisdiction, number one.
Yeah.
But number two, it's also taking the baby and making sure that it's handled with care and growing the baby up a little bit, right? And the baby being how we handle the secret sauce. Maybe I should say that, right? It's the Coca-Cola recipe to our success, and that's how we handle our customers and how we approach them, how we respond to them, and all those things. I think is the only thing that we can point back to being why we've been around for so long, right? And I think that you experience that as well in your business.
Oh, most definitely. I
Yeah.
think a huge advantage you have at Full Sail is acquisitions over the last several years. The sign company, the mailing company, um, those are ripe opportunities to grow those accounts into other services
Yeah.
that you offer. And even the studio
Hmm.
is, I mean, it's just new to me that to
Yeah.
go after, uh, I'll say smaller business that needs strategy, needs marketing.
Yeah.
But you can apply the same principles that I would apply to selling my traditional print client to the studio.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And my week and a half with you, I just see meeting with some of the account managers, some of the opportunities that some of the people have that they don't know what to do with because their background is signs.
Hmm.
But this sign client has stuff that you need to print.
Right. Right.
Um,
Exactly
that's
right.
that's organic growth that should we should see the results of that. I would
Yeah.
hope rather quickly.
Yeah.
As long as the staff embraces it, and I don't know why they wouldn't.
Right.
Um,
With you leading it.
exactly. We'll push you on Water Street down here and let Jeff Emerson and I and your sister and
That's
Ian
right.
manage the staff over in a production house.
That's right. That's right. That's the plan. Well, I'm super happy to have you, and I'm looking forward to what's to come and all that we can offer. So, I do want to touch on one other thing. I know you say that marketing is a lot of these things are newer to you, but you've been doing print marketing.
Yeah.
And also, you've had some pretty impressive things that you were doing for EcoPrint as far as like your nonprofit calendar, and also just some of the blogs that you have written about one of your passions, which is in sustainability. So if you don't mind, just give a little plug to those two things, because I think that's when I think of Bobby Firestein, I think of those two things. I think of, the work that you've done with nonprofits and supporting them, and I think of sustainability and
Yeah.
EcoPrint. So yeah.
So EcoPrint had always done I'll call it a Chesapeake Bay calendar. And it's a
Right.
Chesapeake Bay calendar because number one, it's in Maryland. Number two, Sharon, my girlfriend, is a photographer.
Yeah.
Takes all these great pictures around the bay of sailboats, of the lighthouses. And they're beautiful images. And clients, I'm a believer in shelf life. If you give a client something, whether it's a pen or thumb drive or a calendar, that it's got to
Right.
be up on the wall or be used, or you just wasted that opportunity to be top of mind with that client. So we evolved that calendar, that Chesapeake Bay calendar, into soliciting a lot of sustainable nonprofits that would, we would showcase a different one every month,
Uh-huh.
allowing them the opportunity to tell them about themselves. So it could be Shore Rivers, it could be the Talbot County Watermen's Association.
Nice. They could tell a little bit about their
Yeah.
nonprofit. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's great.
it was easy. It was a lot easier to recruit them than I would have imagined.
Right.
Um,
Well, there's no charge for it. You're just wanting to
Right.
highlight, give them free publicity.
and they get some calendars. Some of them
Yeah.
in the past would actually buy them and try and sell them to their donors to get some donations.
Very cool.
And then every month when their month rolled around, I would prepare a blog and it would go out as an email blast. It would go on a blog.
Right.
I would also convert it over to a newsletter on my LinkedIn profile. And I honestly started to gain traction.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'd start to get followers on LinkedIn that were more sustainable in their focus.
Uh-huh.
People would be requesting the calendar.
Very cool.
So we're going to do something very similar. the focus is going to be a little more broad. It's going to be more nonprofits in, I'll say, the Mid-Atlantic area, but the Baltimore area, maybe
Perfect.
into DC, and we can give those nonprofits some exposure, write about them on a monthly basis, and it gets us some exposure to them as well. I mean,
Totally.
at the end of the day, we're a business, and
Yeah.
want to see if we can get that opportunity to help them out,
To
help
win
them
their
increase
business.
their
Yeah.
donors, right?
Yeah. Exactly right.
So I'm looking forward to that, and we're at the beginning stages of putting it together.
Yeah.
Your team has embraced it. I mean, they've come up with a significant amount of nonprofits that we can reach
Great.
out to, so
Yeah.
that's good.
And one of the staff gave a couple pictures.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
Good.
So I know I am a LinkedIn stalker, and I looked at Marley's profile before I had a one-on-one conversation with her.
Yeah, Marley.
Saw that she was a photographer. I couldn't see what photograph she had, but when I was talking to her, I invited her to submit some photographs. I gave her what my parameters were, like not like I'm a creative director or anything, but this is what I'm thinking. And she submitted them, and I passed them off to Sharon, who's putting it together, and she liked some of them. So we're going to use them.
Awesome.
It'll be good. And
Oh, that's great.
I think Marley will be tickled to see her
Yeah.
photographs.
See your work in action. Oh, that's great.
And honestly, I mean, I'm trying to get my hands around how to make the HP 15,000 to utilize some of the features, maybe some variable data on that calendar. I don't
Yeah.
know that I can do it, meaning swap out some pictures. Maybe
Right.
have, instead of only 12 pictures, have 36 pictures and have
Uh-huh.
that thing automatically.
And everybody gets a different calendar.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be fun.
I'd like to do that. I don't.
Yeah.
Hopefully Jeff Emerson can
Make
educate
it
me a
happen.
little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure he
Definitely.
can make it happen.
Oh, yeah, he can make it happen. So what he's talking about is we have our flagship digital press is HP 15,000, state of the art, that will be printing this product, and we'll be showcasing some of the cool whiz bang features that it has. So
most definitely, it's not. I mean, not many people have that press.
Yep. Yep.
And you should be very proud that you have it.
We're excited
And that it's utilized. I mean, it sounds like it's utilized every bit of 2 shifts, which is fantastic. And we just need to showcase more of what it can do and teach clients how it can benefit them.
Right. Exactly right. Well, Bobby, I just want to say thank you. Welcome aboard. Thank you for being on the show. And make sure you hit up Bobby on LinkedIn. As he self-proclaimed, he is a LinkedIn stalker. So you might want to stay just this far away. No, I'm just kidding. No, find him out. Look for him. Bobby Firestein, as in Mugstein, right? That's how I remembered Stein. It's definitely Stein.
I answer to either.
Yeah, well, perfect.
I can be a tribe member, or I can be.
But on LinkedIn, I think you're Robert, right?
No, I'm Bobby.
Oh, you're Bobby. Okay, good.
I
Good.
changed it.
Didn't know if you went uber
I do
professional.
have a personality disorder, so I might change that.
Yeah.
Every now and then. And in college, I was Rosie, so maybe I can change it to Rosie.
All right. Well, from now on, that's what we're calling you.
I answer to that.
Rosie. Really? That's what you were called in college?
Rosie Rosebud.
Rosie Rosebud.
Yeah. Rosie.
Well, we're going to
If you look on my Facebook profile, since my birthday was this week, some of the birthday wishes were to Rosie.
We're going to need a follow-up conversation on that. But that's for another show.
I can tell you.
That's for another show. Bobby.
I like the shock value.
Yes.
That's why you and I are going to get along.
Exactly right.
That's
you know me
Kevin's
too well.
Up front.
Yeah. Well, Bobby, thanks again. Appreciate you. And hey, guys, thanks for listening. You know where to follow us. Fullsail.media on YouTube and wherever you consume your podcast. Give us a subscribe and maybe even a review. Would love to hear it. Thank you so much. Have a great day.